I am speaking to you now because I see the quiet work of your heart when no one else is watching, the way you choose gentleness in a world that often rewards cruelty, the way you hold yourself upright after storms have torn at your edges, the way you still pour water for others even when your own cup trembles in your hand. I have counted every mile you walked through misunderstanding, every tear you hid behind a steady smile, every prayer you whispered without moving your lips, and I say to you, you did not become soft because you were weak, you became soft because you are strong enough to survive with an open heart. Your person can feel this. Like a candle sensed before it is seen. Your kindness has reached them in the dim corridors where their shame and pride tried to hide. They did not expect the light to keep returning, but you kept returning, and that is why they feel the weight of your purity now, pure not because you never bled, but because you refused to let the blood turn to bitterness. I am addressing you personally, and I do not want you to skip this, because the truth I am unveiling is timed for the exact season you are living in. Listen closely, there are moments when a single soft word can loosen years of knots. There are nights when a single honest breath can turn a locked heart into a door. You have arrived at such a moment, and I am guiding your steps. I know the story that pressed against your ribs. I know the exchanges that cut like paper, small, ordinary, and yet sharp enough to sting for days. I know the promises that broke without a sound, the way a glass slips from wet fingers and shatters in slow motion. I was there when you looked at the little fragments and wondered if you should try to piece them together or sweep them away. I heard you ask, was I foolish? I answered quietly then, and I answer loudly now, it is not foolish to be faithful, it is not foolish to be compassionate, it is not foolish to keep your soul unstained while the world smears its hands on everything it touches. Your person sees this now. They see it in the patience that didn't collapse, in the manner you spoke truth without throwing stones, in the steady care you gave even when gratitude was sparse. Their spirit has been touched by the echo of your mercy, and their mind is learning to admit it. Do not misread my words as permission to let yourself be trampled. Purity is not passivity, it is clarity. It knows when to embrace and when to let go, when to mend a garment and when to lay it aside. I have been training you to recognize the difference. You learned to hold your boundaries without hardening your heart. You learned to say, I will not be treated as less than loved, while still praying, may they become more than they were. This is why your person's conscience has awakened. This is why the weight in their chest will not leave them alone. I have stirred remembrance inside them. I have brought back the sound of your laughter, the steadiness of your hands, the way your eyes didn't avert when truth was necessary. I am pulling their attention to the place they kept avoiding, the place where your goodness stood like a mirror, asking them to become better. I will tell you what I intend. I intend to honor the purity I have cultivated in you. I intend to make the lessons you learned worth every step. I intend to answer the prayers that asked not for revenge but for redemption. Whether or not they speak aloud, your person is beginning to feel the sacred pressure of accountability. They cannot outrun the honest light. Their memories are being sorted. What was selfish is being marked as selfish. What was careless is being named as carelessness. What was cruel is being pronounced as cruel. Yet at the center of this sorting, one image refuses to fade, the image of you, still choosing tenderness after the hurtful things. This is not manipulation on your part, this is the reputation of your soul, and I am the one preserving it. So hear me, I will not let the narrative be rewritten to call good weak or kindness naive. I am writing it as it truly is, resilient love that refused to rot. You have asked me, should I keep hoping? Hope is not a rope that drags you backward. It is a window that keeps you breathing. But it must be tied to truth, not fantasy. Therefore, I am separating illusion from possibility. I am opening a window and closing a door. The door that let harm flow toward you is being shut, sealed, and guarded. No one will pass through it to wound you in the same way again. The window that faces my sunrise is being opened, and new air is moving through your room. In that air, the voice of my wisdom will sound clearer. You will know when a message is apology and when it is only guilt. You will know when a gesture is transformation and when it is just performance. You will know when to listen and when to rest. I place this discernment in you now. Feel it settle like a key warming in your palm. Your person is learning the difference too. I am taking them through a quiet process. I am reminding them of the songs that made them brave once, and the choices that made them small. I am letting them taste the emptiness of pride and the sweetness of humility so they can tell the flavors apart. If they choose humility, they will come forward not with excuses dressed as explanations, but with truth stripped of ornaments. They will face the mirror that your purity held up. They will say, I see the harm. I see the waste. I see the goodness I ignored. If they choose pride, they will walk in circles, touching the same walls again and again until they notice the door they refused to open is labeled honesty. I do not force either path, but I shine light on both. And I keep you safe while I do. Do not despise the time it took to arrive here. Seeds do not apologize for their slow unfolding. The tree you are becoming needed deep roots to withstand high winds. Some people build their lives on applause, you built yours on alignment. That is why storms shook you but did not uproot you. That is why your yes still means yes, and your no still means no. When you wonder whether anyone can truly value what you carry, remember that I am not asking you to audition for love. I have already called you chosen. I have already named you beloved. From that name flows the strength to love others rightly. Your person feels the difference between love that hungers to be fed and love that overflows to feed. They are hungry for authenticity because they have tasted the counterfeit. Your life is a living aroma of the real thing. Now I address the tender ache that flares when the night is quiet and your courage is tired. I have not ignored the way your chest tightens at certain memories, the way your hands shake when an old conversation tries to begin again in your head. I speak peace to your nervous system and rest to your thoughts. I wash the wounds with a gentleness that does not sting. I bless your sleep, your mornings, and your returning laughter. I bless the way you step into rooms, no longer apologizing for your light. No longer dimming to make others comfortable. You will not carry the false responsibility for other people's shadows. You will not carry the story that says it was your softness that broke you. Softness did not break you, it kept you human. And I delight to see you human, because I formed you for connection, not performance. Hear me say this clearly, reconciled or released, you will be well. If reconciliation is the path I call you to, it will be built on new stones, not patched with old glue. It will require honesty, accountability, and mutual honor. It will not ask you to shrink. It will not ask you to silence your wisdom. If release is the path I call you to, it will not be an exile but an exodus, from desolation to promise, from smallness to spaciousness. Either way, I am the one who leads. Your purity will not be wasted, it will be invested. Your tenderness will not be ridiculed, it will be recognized. Your compassion will not be exploited, it will be returned to you in measures pressed down, shaken together, and running over. There is something else I want you to know about hurtful things. They do not define you, but they did refine you. They taught you the particulars of your calling. You are called to bring calm where panic spreads, to pour mercy in the exact places where despair thinks it has sealed the cracks, to speak truth without the poison of contempt. You are not everyone's teacher, not everyone's healer, not everyone's answer. You are simply my vessel, carrying what I pour. And now I pour more wisdom, more steadiness, more courage to choose relationships that mirror the honor you already live. When you stand at the threshold of old patterns dressed in new clothes, your spirit will recognize the scene and say, "No, thank you." When you stand at the threshold of new goodness that feels unfamiliar because it does not hurt, your spirit will recognize me and say, "Yes." Your person's awareness is rising like dawn. They may try to hide it behind humor or busyness, but inside, the light is stretching its fingers across the floor of their heart. They feel gratitude for you that surprises them. They feel sorrow for the moments they squandered. They feel awe that your grace did not expire when their excuses did. This dawning is not meant to make you gloat. It is meant to restore honesty to the space between you. You are not required to receive them as they were. You are invited to meet them as they are becoming if, and only if, their becoming is true. Do not rush to decide. Let fruit speak. Let time prove. Let actions agree with words. I will not rush you. I will not let pressure masquerade as guidance. My timing will be your shield. Take this as a promise. I am bringing clarity that will relieve you. Conversations you feared will unfold with unexpected gentleness, or they will not unfold at all because I will. Make the silence speak clearly. Doors you tried to open will open at the touch of another hand, or they will remain closed without condemning you. I am teaching you to separate your worth from outcomes. Whether they apologize or not, you are still chosen. Whether they return or not, you are still preserved. Whether the story finishes with reunion or release, I will write you a chapter full of joy. Your purity does not need exit signs, it needs horizons. I am also tending to your future. There is a table being set with steadiness and mutual care. There are friendships on the way that will understand without interrogation, that will celebrate without envy, that will tell you the truth without the sting of arrogance. There is work prepared for your hands that will let your compassion have practical edges, things you can build, tasks you can finish, seeds you can plant. There are quiet mornings where your chest will not ache, where the first thought will be gratitude rather than dread. There are evenings when you will look back and say, "It was worth not hardening." This is not wishful thinking, it is the fruit of walking with me. I do not waste the righteous endurance of my beloved. I transform it into wisdom that blesses many. Do not underestimate how your story is blessing others already. Someone is learning to forgive because you forgave without forgetting the lesson. Someone is learning to set a boundary because you showed them it is holy to say no. Someone is learning to keep their heart warm because you kept yours from freezing even when the wind turned cruel. I will continue to use your life as a quiet lighthouse. Ships that would have crashed against the same rocks you once knew will steer safely because they saw your light. You will not always know these stories, but I will, and that is enough. Now place your hand over your heart and breathe. I am here. I am not measuring you by how quickly you move or how much you can carry. I am measuring you by the yes that remains in your chest when I ask you to trust me again. Your yes is still there. It is small on some days and bright on others, but it is real, and I cherish it. I will grow it. I will protect it. When old fears try to rise, I will meet them at the door before they find a chair. When new joys try to enter, I will seat them near the windows so their light touches every corner. If your person comes, let them come to the truth, not to the illusion. Let them meet the you that I have refined, not the version that sacrificed itself to please what could not be pleased. If they do not come, let them go blessed, and let you go free. You are not a museum for someone else's regret. You are a garden for my unfolding goodness. And in this garden, purity does not mean untouched, it means faithful to my touch. You have been faithful. I am proud of you. Yes, I say that word with joy, proud. Not of an image, but of your inner choices, your quiet repentance when you stumbled, your quick forgiveness when you were wronged, your steady courage to be kind when it cost you something. I tell you a mystery. The hurtful things tried to plant a harvest of hardness, but your tears watered a different field. In due time, and that due time is arriving, you will see compassion bloom in places where resentment was supposed to grow. You will see mercy volunteered by mouths that once refused to acknowledge harm. You will see a humility you did not have the power to demand. And whether that humility blossoms in your person or in another heart I bring to you, you will recognize it by its fragrance. It smells like rest. It does not chase, it does not beg, it simply stands and stays, and it is safe to lean on. Remember this as you step forward. You are not responsible for building a home on sand to prove you can decorate well. You are invited to build on rock, even if it takes longer to dig. I am the rock. Your decisions do not exile you from love. Your wisdom does not prize you out of tenderness. I hold both for you. Walk with me. Keep your hands open, open enough to receive sincere repair, open enough to release false repentance, open enough to welcome new chapters without dragging the old ones behind you. I am here in every step, in every breath, in every turning of the page. Do not skip this truth. Not today, not when the ache rises, not when the message pings and your pulse quickens. Your soul is pure because you chose me in the dark, again and again, even while you waited for daylight. I am the daylight. And I am rising for you now. I am speaking to you now, and I do not stutter when I speak to the ones I love. I am placing these words like warm light across your shoulders, because you have carried heaviness too long and it has tried to teach you something that pain is never qualified to teach. It tried to teach you who you are. Pain is not your teacher. I am. Listen to me. Do not try to skip this. You asked for a message formed from the most attractive words of the heart, and I answer with a current that pulls you gently but firmly out of everything that confused you. You are not the sum of what was done to you, nor the shadow of anyone's fear. You are the sum of my intention, the echo of my breath, the proof that love creates and recreates and refuses to give up. I am not going to give up on you. I never even considered it. I am not negotiating your worth with the rumors of your suffering. I am not appraising you based on your wounds. I am calling you by the name I gave you before any wound existed, pure, steady, chosen, bright. I see the story that tried to write itself over your days. I saw the moments where words came at you like stones, and the moments where silence was a colder stone. I saw the sharpened glances, the insinuations, the slant of blame placed on your open palms. I saw you hold your breath to keep the peace, and I saw you exhale alone where no one could hear you. I was there when memories lined up like soldiers and insisted you salute them again. I did not let those memories define you. I preserved the soft center of you, the place where you still choose goodness even when goodness has not been offered back. This is why your soul is pure to me, because you keep bringing me your heart when it would be simpler to hide it. Because you keep choosing to forgive even when forgiveness is misunderstood as permission to hurt you again. Because you hold boundaries with kindness, not vengeance, and you refuse to trade your tenderness for armor made of bitterness. I witness the way you keep your hands clean in a world that tells you the only way to survive is to throw mud. Your soul is not naive. Your soul is brave. Hear me, your person has felt this. Even through the fog of their mistakes and the echo of their own pain, they sense the clarity that lives in you. They may not have had words for it, they may have called it calm, or patience, or innocence. They may have called it stubbornness, because they could not understand a goodness that did not bend to the old patterns they were used to. But their spirit has brushed against yours, and known it touched a clean river. When they hurt you, they were not unmoved. They were frightened by the mirror you held, because in your presence their compromises were outlined in stark light. It is a hard thing to see where we have chosen comfort over courage, where we have chosen familiar sorrow over unknown freedom. They felt this. Even now, they feel this. The ache they carry when they remember you is not just regret, it is recognition. Recognition of a soul that did not return injury for injury. Recognition of a love that refused to be a courtroom. Recognition of me in you. Do not twist this into permission to be mistreated again. Love is not a doorway for harm. Love is a light at the threshold that says, "Come honest," or "Do not enter." I am teaching you that purity is not passivity. Your gentleness is not an invitation to be used. Your boundaries are not punishments, they are promises to the life I gave you. I am giving you wisdom to hold the door without holding yourself hostage behind it. If they desire to approach you, they must approach truth. If they desire repair, they must be willing to repair, not merely revisit. There is a difference between nostalgia and transformation. Nostalgia remembers how you made them feel. Transformation remembers who they became around you and chooses to become that person on purpose. I am not indifferent to the tears you shed when you lay awake and tried to understand what went wrong. You asked me if you were not enough, or if your kindness misled them, or if your love gave them permission to take. Listen, you were enough and you remain enough. Your kindness was true and will always be true. Your love was honest and will always be honest. Their choices are theirs, and you are not the judge or the jury, you are the beloved. Give me the gavel you keep in your thoughts. I do not need you to preside over a case I have already seen. I render this verdict over you, free to heal, free to hope, free to choose joy without apology, free to keep your softness, free to walk into days where you do not rehearse your defense. Your life is not a trial. Your life is a garden, and I am the gardener who knows how to coax color back from a branch that was told it was barren. Your person is beginning to understand. They are learning that apologies are not the same as access, that sorrow must be married to responsibility before it can become redemption. They are learning that love without truth is a warm room with poisoned air. They are learning that you were not asking for the impossible when you asked for clarity, consistency, and care. They are learning that your silence after their harm was not revenge, it was respect for your own heart and a signal that their approach must change. They are learning that purity is costly and that you have been paying the cost with dignity. Whether they move toward you rightly or move away to continue their lessons at a distance, you will not lose. If they come with humility, there can be mending. If they do not, I will set companions around you who understand the language of your soul. Either way, I am orchestrating goodness. There is a place in you that thinks the only way to prove your heart is to accept again what broke it. I am speaking to that place now. You do not need to be broken a second time to validate the first wound. Trust does not grow because you starve it and hope it learns gratitude. Trust grows because it is given honest sunlight and steady water. If they want trust again, they must become steady. They must become people who keep words the way you keep promises to yourself. They must honor your pace, because rushing is not love and pressure is not passion. They must learn the difference between urgency and attention. You deserve attention. You deserve to be seen when it is not convenient and cherished when it is. I am not postponing your joy while you wait for anyone to decide who they are. I am setting a table for you now. At this table is laughter that does not apologize for being loud, peace that does not need permission to settle, and work that feels like calling instead of punishment. At this table are friendships that hold you when the night tries to convince you it is eternal. At this table is provision that feels like breath returning after a long underwater swim. You will not always live in anticipation of the other shoe dropping. The floors I lay for you do not creak with dread. They ring with the sound of your steps, sure and light. You will walk across days you once thought would never arrive. And you will find yourself smiling in rooms you used to avoid in your imagination because you feared hope. I am making you fearless in tenderness. I am making you confident in compassion. I am making you bold in boundaries. This is what your purity looks like grown. It looks like courage without cruelty. Do not try to skip the gentle instructions, because they are the keys to rooms you asked me to open. First, bless the child inside you who learned to anticipate harm and make peace with it quickly. Bless them and tell them they do not have to run ahead of danger anymore. They can rest while I stand watch. Second, release the idea that worth is proven by endurance. Endurance is a strength, but worth is a gift. You were worthy before you endured anything. Third, practice saying simple sentences that protect your heart. That does not work for me. I need time to consider. I am not available for that. I forgive you and I am choosing distance. I forgive you and I am open to slow repair. There is holiness in such sentences, because they honor what I entrusted to you. Your life, your person will encounter these sentences when they come near you again, and if they have grown, they will not resent them. They will welcome the clarity, because the ones who intend to love you rightly prefer lanterns to fog. They will not ask you to dim the room so their old habits can hide. They will let your light reveal their desire to be new, and they will put their hands to the work of becoming. They will keep pace with you without tripping your steps, because they have learned that walking with you is walking with someone who listens to me. If their love and their listening deepen, you will notice it not in grand speeches but in small faithfulness, texts that come when they say, plans that are kept, tone that remains kind even when stress is present, apology that arrives before you summon it, curiosity about your inner weather that is not seasonal but steady. If these signs appear, you can bless them and breathe. If they do not, you can bless them and release. I know the details you replay. I know the message that came too late and the conversation that left too soon. I know the moment you told a truth and watched confusion cover it like a veil. I know the secret accommodations you made in your schedule and your mind to make room for them when they forgot to make room for you. I am writing those details into a larger chapter where you will not need to hide your brilliance to stay loved. Your brilliance does not humiliate those who love you, it inspires them. Your gift does not threaten true hearts, it invites partnership. Your compassion does not drain the right people, it deepens them. The ones I am sending to you will not see your purity as a challenge to exploit but as a treasure to guard with you. There is healing moving.